Hello, welcome back to Chan. I'm Whyte.
And I'm Jamie Allan.
I'm Kelan Boylan.
First of all, mate, thanks for coming on.
No bother, glad to be here, guys.
How's your day been so far?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I mean, I had college today and stuff like that, so I'm just back and I've had like 2 hours sleep, so we'll see how this goes, guys.
Prepared for it. You're not going to conk it mid-interview, are you?
No, I'm tough.
I mean, it's a comfy chair I've given you here. I don't want you sleeping in the middle of this.
It's alright, just gives a nudge. They won't notice. They won't know I've fallen asleep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the editing master. Like, they'll never know. Don't you say shit, Jamie. If you want to complain, you fucking edit it. So, Kelan, I'm going to start with you first off with all my guests, if I remember. What is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory, probably from when I was 2, because I was born in Ireland. I'm Irish. And
If you can tell by the voice.
Well, I mean, it's not distinct. I've lived in Belfast for a while, but no, I was out and my granddad and my mum had horses, and my granddad was like taking me out
Irish,
to the paddock, and he was taking me out for a ride on the horse, and that's my first memory, was being on this pony with my granddad, like walking me out.
Did your family own farms and stuff?
Well, one half of my family, my granny's side, the McCardles, are from Armagh, and they have like a big kind of, farm up there, a big kind of country manor. But I'm not really from that side. I'm a kind of purse pleb, right? But no, this was back when my granddad was still alive, and he ran a pub in Belfast, so he was quite wealthy, and they had quite a large house with a bit of land for riding the horses.
Not bad. Pretty nice to grow up around. Were you always around animals growing up?
Yeah, I mean, it was mostly because my mum was a champion horse rider for well, she was. She jumped horses for Ireland at national level. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and dressage and stuff like that. I didn't go down that kind of path though.
How come not? Did you never fancy?
I just never got the chance. I suppose I went to a couple of horse riding things. I know how to ride a horse. I just never entered competitions or did it professionally.
I've never been near a horse, never mind ride it.
My dad wouldn't be happy for telling me about this, but I think it runs in the family, so...
sheep.
I said horses. He's from Glasgow, mate. No, when he went to it, like, cause his sister, my aunt, used to do horse riding, and when he went for like a laugh down there one time, we went to try and go get him the horse. It just fucking kicked him away and started flying back. Yeah, so since then I've never fancied it being the city boy that I am.
That's probably one of the more interesting stories to do with my mum. She actually survived being kicked in the back of the head by a horse.
That's quite impressive.
Which is pretty slim odds. Yeah, she's a tough woman. Suffering for it now, like health and that. Broke all these bones and stuff and never even got them looked at,
My mum used to ride horses as well when she was young. My gran used to have a stable.
Oh, fair enough.
I've still never went near them, but never.
They're just terrifying me. I can't imagine fucking going near one of those things. Like you said, they can kick you in the head and kill you.
They're dodgy at the front and questionable at the back, I think is the way you describe it.
I know, but you could get karate kick for the side if you ask me, like.
Yeah, it depends if you go asking for it.
No, that's very true.
So, whereabouts in Ireland did you grow up?
I grew up on the west coast, Sligo, Donegal, and then when I turned 7, I moved to Belfast.
Sorry, is Sligo in the north, the south?
No, Sligo's in the Republic, same with Donegal.
Right,
yeah, it's over the border.
And then you moved to Belfast,
yeah,
over the border?
Yeah, I moved over the wall, right? It was because my mum was working full time as a social worker. She moved around a lot. Come from a single parent family, so it was the case that there was really no one to look after me, so I lived with my grandparents.
Oh, yeah.
I may be stupid here, but see, back then was this Republic of Ireland weren't in the EU, out of the EU at that time, were they?
No, they were still part of the EU. I was actually born. I was born in '98. I'm 19. I was born a month before the Good Friday Agreement, which is the ceasefire of all the troubles and that. Which is quite an interesting thing. I'm pretty much a ceasefire baby, but not quite.
I mean, I'm not going to try and claim that you're Jesus or anything, but I'm not sure you didn't stop it yourself.
I says it was still at the beard, I might look at it a wee bit.
Yeah, grow out your hair. I'm sure, like, from birth, you just fucking came out with, like, the robes on, presenting yourself as the...
No, that's not how it works in Ireland. You come out holding a potato.
Oh, yeah, true. I thought you get born from the ground. I thought it was like actual potatoes over there.
Aye, that's what I mean. You get pulled out in the fucking stem system, holding a potato, clinging on for dear life. That's your nutrition.
That's your nutrition.
You don't have a placenta, you've got the root system.
So, did you enjoy then living with your grandparents?
As I say, it was such a long time ago. I remember having a good time in that. My granddad passed sadly when I was 4, 3 or 4, when I was pretty young, so I don't remember much of them. But I lived with my granny for quite a while, just us two, and yeah, it was good. I loved Donegal. It was a very natural place.
Was there much to do?
There was fuck all to do, but it was one of those kind of things, you know, back in the day, the kids be out kicking the football down the road and that kind of lifestyle. Yeah, it was.
No need to make us sound older, right?
Well, it was going out and you were fucking running up hills and speeding down hills and bikes and shooting fireworks at the Gardaí and, you know, all this stupid shit that you wouldn't do nowadays, you know.
Didn't know you'd done back then, to be fair. But
well, it says that. Jeez, I hope the Guardian aren't listening. Otherwise, there's me in for a fucking warrant.
Oh yeah, we get a lot of viewers on this podcast. Mate. I'm sure they're just sitting back home like, Kelan, bastard.
The 6 degrees of separation. Someone could be listening to this and they go, I know a Guardian, and then next thing it gets on and fucking their warrant out, I'm dead.
Yeah, aye, totally.
I get G-manned in the middle of the night and you never see me again.
So we didn't really explain the ceasefire. Like, I know it's quite a big subject. Do you want to explain very roughly in terms what happened and like what it's like
so
today?
You want me to give you a kind of quick run through?
Yeah, especially since you've
Irish
lived over there, you can maybe give it a wee bit of an insight.
Well, I studied history at Advanced Higher A2 in Irish nationalism, so I suppose I could give you a bit of perspective.
Wait, what grade did you get though?
I got a D.
I'm not sure if we can take this for granted.
Still a pass. Still a fucking pass, right?
Still a pass? What sort of fucking Mickey Mouse school did you go to that allows
It's a pass. It's a pass according to the exam board, not to my school. It's a pass according to the exam board.
Okay, fair enough. Right, okay. Explain then roughly what happened and what it's like now then.
Right, okay, so I mean this goes back hundreds of years since the kind of settlers that were moved into Ireland, whereby you had a Protestant majority in the north, who defined that they had their own separate independent culture from the rest of the Irish Catholics. Catholics? That's a socio dialect.
Is it?
No, Catholics who kind of, you know, had the predominant majority in the rest of Ireland. However, because they were landed gentry, they took up all these positions in the government and they had influence to keep things the way they were.
Right.
And then you get to kind of the 1800s, you get people like Parnell, O'Connell, who start granting rights to Irish Catholics.
They start giving rights to these people.
The right to vote.
That's a disgrace, isn't it?
So anyway, and all that goes on. There's land wars. There's a lot of agrarian unrest. There's actually Connolly, who was in the 19. I can't remember. 14?
I don't know, man. I'm not as good up
the uprising in Dublin, anyway. I should know this. This is a shame to my nationalism, but anyway.
That's right, just don't show us anyone back.
He was one of the greatest kind of communist thinkers at the time in terms of socialism in Ireland. He actually was a correspondent of Marx and Friedrich Engels, if you've any kind of knowledge of sociology and that. But all that happens. There's people being shot. So they send Michael Collins over as a delegation to London to negotiate that, you know, the Republic should have its own country, its own government, it should be self-governing, but possibly with power deferred from British government. So they're still kind of in control, but independent, right?
About as much as they can get in terms of
as much as they could leverage. This is what you see if you ever study Irish politics. It's very much down that kind of path, what they could leverage with what they had. But in any case, he's sent over and he gets fucked over by the delegation. He doesn't get what he wants. He gets, you know, all of the counties, but, you know, 3, which are in the north, which is where you've the run up to partition, which is where you've the creation of Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland.
Right.
The troubles then kind of, there'd always been troubles in the border regions because of disagreements in agrarian areas between local Catholics and Protestants, especially the Orange Order. The Loyal Lodges, stuff like that would have caused quite a bit of contention and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so it goes on into the 60s and 70s. And this kind of violence gets to a heightened level between obviously Catholics and Protestants, and the army are drafted in, so they're deployed in Ireland to keep the peace in the north. Right, okay. They're not deployed in the south; they're just deployed in the north. But there's actually one fun fact is you'll notice that it's called the Troubles, and the reason for that is it's never called like an Irish War, the Anglo-Irish War, anything like that.
The Troubles.
Because if they called it that, they would be giving Ireland its statesmanship. They would be recognising it as a foreign power of its own independence. So that's why if you ever read up in this kind of stuff to do with historians, this is, you know, discussed as such. But anyway, so this goes on from about, you know, late 60s, early 70s through until 1998, whereby actually in St Andrews, just up the road, Bush, new Labour government sat down with the leaders of the IRA, the Republican wing, paramilitaries.
That must have been a barrel of laughs.
Yeah, and obviously the UVF, and they signed a peace treaty, a disarmament, whereby they would give up all their weapons, they would sign a ceasefire, no more killing, blah blah blah, and that was technically the end of the Troubles. However, today, if you watch the news, you'll see the odd thing, car bombs and stuff like this, and there are still provisional IRA and other wings still active covertly. So that's your quick rundown of
To be fair, you explained it pretty well in about 5 minutes. I'll give you that. So, how was it for you then growing up? Did you see many of the Troubles?
Well, as I say, I was born towards the tail end. I was born 98, so I mean.
But like afterwards, like you said, you'll see the occasional car bomb stuff. Like, did you still get to experience any of that sort of like aftermath of it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely experienced some of it. With regards to, there's a lot of kind of derogatory language you would run into an everyday thing. You would have people challenging you, much the way that over here, if there's a Celtic or Rangers game, it's very much Old Firm.
Yeah, and then the correct answer is always Aberdeen, if you get answered that question.
no, Sligo Rovers is where it's at.
Yeah, totally.
But obviously there's those kind of questions that would differentiate you from one group or the other, and depending who you're talking to could go one way or the other, much as, you guys are used to. But obviously with us being a very much more focused issue that's kind of been tempered over the years.
Did you grow up with like being a Catholic or Protestant?
Yeah, I was born a Catholic. I was baptised a Catholic. I'm non-practicing now, but that was just family decided that
family
for me.
way,
Yeah.
Like, do you still have any feelings towards that or not at all anyway?
I mean, not so much. I mean, I wouldn't go to church. I haven't been to church in quite a while. I'd go on Christmas and Easter, just with family.
The big games.
Yeah, because my grandmother would still be really rather religious, and it's more just kind of like a support to her, because I know she likes to go with me, and to think that I have faith in religion and such like that.
Be good to your gran.
Yeah, exactly. It makes her happy, so why not?
Hope she's not listening.
He won't be sending this link over to her.
You are fucked.
Go on then. So what was it like growing? What was school like over in Ireland?
School, I mean, hell. Do you want me to give you the real 101?
Yeah, why not, man? We look for the.
I was bullied like shit. Genuinely, primary school was horrendous. I was diagnosed when I was diabetic when I was 2. I'm type 1 diabetic. So I was in and out of hospital between the ages of 0 and 2, and when they diagnosed me, obviously I was in school and I was having to deal with all this, so I had helpers who would help me run. Obviously if you've got helpers helping you run school, all the smart cunts are like, oh, he's fucking different, so they start picking on you. So I mean, much of my primary school experience would have been that. It was, I was quite strongly bullied. It hasn't affected me now. I don't give a shit nowadays. I'm nihilistic as shit, but anyway. High school, I went to a grammar school in Belfast, Our Lady in St Patrick's Knock.
It's like the most Irish name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean it's patron saint or some shit.
See, in the high school, was it like rife for like the Catholic and Protestant thing, or was it?
No, I went to an all Catholic school.
All Catholic.
Yeah, it was just. It wasn't particularly because it was all Catholic. It was just that it had really good grade scores and exam results and stuff like that, and it was close by, and I had a few friends went to it, so I thought, why not?
Yeah.
And Warhammer Club, that was a big decider as well, because I was super into Warhammer when I went into fucking high school.
I'm disappointed in that more than anything else you've ever told me.
You haven't seen some of my minifigures, right? They're fucking good, man. They're fucking good. I spent hours on that shit.
So, like, do you have any resentment for school in that regard of getting like picked on all the time? Like, do you have any resentment towards the people now that did it, or have you moved past that? Or?
I think it's a point of maturity. As time goes on, I mean, when you're young, you definitely you feel angry, you resent going. You're like, fuck this, I don't want to go to school because I'm being treated like shit. As you get older, you begin to realize these people's opinions, the way they treat you, it really doesn't matter, because as long as you can be happy within yourself, if you can do it for yourself. Like you just get over them, right?
Fuck the haters.
Exactly. Fuck the haters, right? I mean, you find like-minded people who can get on your level and you can talk to and you can have a good time with, and you just let them do whatever the fuck they want.
That one name haters, mate.
Exactly. Yeah. So that would be my opinion.
That's fair. That's it. It's just Jamie fucking ruining the philosophical charts.
If only there was a webcam.
That one name haters, mate. Take Paul for life.
I can't go start billing you if you don't stop. But do you think then, like, okay, do you have anything, like, I suppose that's a good thing, do you have any maybe words to anyone that is maybe listening, I guess, Billy, like what to do in the situation?
Honestly, the one thing I would say is, I was in a really bad place at one point in high school. I lost all my friends and that, and I get the loneliness and that, I understand, but the one thing I would say is, it's shit, but if you know anyone, if you know someone from the past, and it might be like super awkward to go up to them and be like, hey, do you remember that time we hung out, we used to hang out? Go reconnect, build new bridges. I mean, that's how I got into a friendship group that was 20 times the size of, my friendship group that fucked me over. And that was off the back of a guy I knew when I used to play Gaelic. His dad was a coach in that. And I started hanging out with him, and I made all these friends with him. My first girlfriend I met in that group as well. I had a really good time. And it's all about just not stressing yourself over making something happen. Just make yourself happy and just go with it. Go with the flow.
No, that's nice. That's good. So... obviously then you're getting a wee bit older, as you say, doing more...
I'm at 60.
Nah, not like that. So, obviously over here, how shall we say, we have a strong drinking culture from a young age.
You're talking to someone from Ireland.
Yeah, no. That's just what I'm coming to, okay?
Right, okay.
What's it like being in the country that almost started that as such?
I mean...
does it live up to the stereotypes?
Well, your country, Scotland, you mean?
No, I'm talking about your country living up to when you're like growing up as a teenager going out.
I could probably answer that. I've been to Belfast once. I could definitely.
I think you're an expert. I think we should compare and contrast opinions.
I definitely think it does live up to it. I was in Belfast. I can't remember what the hotel was called, but it was for one of my mates in the EE as Stag do. Went to the ATM right across the road for the hotel, looked round the corner, and there was like a group of young like guys and girls. Swear to God, carry out the size of... honestly, see if we had that carry out, you would be like, oh, that's normal. But them having that carry out was like, holy shit. All of them just sitting like it was like this park bench, and then there was like loads of them, and they were all just sitting, like a big group of them just getting steaming. And that was only one place.
It sounds like my childhood.
That was only one part about. That was only one corner of Belfast. Yeah. And then we went out. We were right on the. It was like right in the border. Like, yeah. Right in the border. I can't honestly for the life of me can't remember.
Was it Europa Hotel or anything like that? No, down the centre.
Aye, that actually.
Europa. It's the most bombed hotel in Europe. That's a fact.
That's why you got sent there, mate.
It sounds a bit like it.
The proudy man that you are yourself.
Basically, we went and you walked down the street, and then you were into proper nightlife in Belfast. But then if you went 2 steps over the nightclub, you were pretty much in Republic Island. Yeah. And then the taxi driver got out and he was like, "You'll find a lot of young ones drinking everywhere." I went, "Oh. Really?
I'm not used to this being from Stirling."
He told us, "Is there anybody here who's Rangers or Celtic?" And I was like, "Yes." He was like, "You're no. You're not Protestant. You're not a Catholic, right? What the fuck am I then? A Jew?"
Atheist.
And he was like, "You don't answer the questions. You simply say," because the first thing he says is like, "If you're Scotland, it's guaranteed you're going to get asked that." Right, okay. We got asked it about 6 times that day, and it was like, fucking hell. And every time you would just make up something new, like you were a Jew or you were a Catholic.
Please tell me you told them that you were a Jew.
Genuinely did. Right, we had this Asian guy with us, and never to lie, half the time practicing Sikh. 100%. Make up something new every time.
And I take it you're a fan of the football, goes out the question as well.
Rangers?
I'm a rugby fan, mate.
Who's Celtic, mate? I don't...
Alright, going in. So not from a tourist perspective, but from someone that lives there, what was it like?
I think it's one of these things. I mean, with the same as if people who live in Glasgow, they know what back alleys not to go down if you don't want to get fucking shanked or you don't want your dick sucked after midnight. Like that's a thing you learn if you live in Glasgow. The same way you live in Belfast, where it's that kind of contention all the time. You learn, what areas to avoid if because obviously I'm Catholic. They'd be like, "You're Catholic, I'm gonna beat you up." 5 grown men in string vests. That shit happens. It's on the news. You learn to avoid these areas, and that's just kind of how you get about. Like you get people come up to you and they will ask you questions. You just fucking ignore them. So they sit there and they start kicking off, and you just walk away. Like genuinely, it's the best.
I mean, there was a group of maybe like 20 of us
No.
You know what I mean? So if you got asked, it was by like a group of two, like it was like maybe 2 or 3 guys who just thought they were fucking wicked. Probably like drinking Blue Wicked or something like that, and they came up.
That shows how cool they really are.
Yeah.
And proper strong accent. Obviously hearing us talking as we walked in the street, they ask us, Rangers or Celtic? Who the fuck are they?
No.
Who are they?
Glasgow Warriors.
Aye, like we never answer like Rangers or Celtic.
No, it's for the best. It's kind of like it's a similar situation, but for 2 different reasons between Scotland and the North.
But I mean, 3 of them against 20 of us, it wasn't going to happen anyway. But you know, just
On
to
the safe side.
keep the trouble away and just say nothing.
Okay, so not maybe as much the.
One more thing to go on, by the way. We went earlier for a stag do. What the fuck's up with Belfast, mate? No strip clubs.
No. DUP.
I am fucking
DUP.
sorry.
This is actually a funny thing. We've no casinos, we've no strip clubs.
Wait, what?
Like that.
None, mate. It was fucking
DUP,
shit.
The DUP who are in power, they're like
Oh,
really
the
strong
DUP.
religious bigots. I'm gonna be honest, they're bigots. They've tried to block gay marriage multiple times because they don't let gays donate blood because they think if you get gay blood via transfusion you become gay. Right, all this kind of stuff. Because of their religious morals, they don't allow gambling and they don't allow prostitution and that kind of strip club kind of stuff.
bastards,
They've
man.
banned all that because
Oh,
of
no,
the
there was-
sharing.
The taxi driver, we got off at the airport and jumped straight into a taxi that we had booked.
No.
And we were like, mate, it was actually me who pointed out, I was like, mate, look, there's no fucking strip clubs in this place. And you and who else was there, he was choking for a strip club. And he was at...
They were not giving you satisfaction, Jamie.
He went like that to the... Is this a stag do? He went like that to the taxi driver. Mate, what the fuck's up with this? And they strip clubs, he said it pretty much exactly the sure. He was like, it's fine. Go to this website. Took us to this website full of prostitutes, right? So he phoned them and he was like, how much is it for 6 guys? And just completely asking all these questions to the stripper.
Go on then. How much was it?
Oh, I mean, she was planning on only taking £200 stuff for six guys tag teaming her, and
30 quid a guy, Jesus, that's cheap.
Ah.
That's like a Nando's. That's like a
Exactly.
Nando's each, eh?
Exactly.
You're only doing him getting looked into the place. What about you now?
I mean, it's a taxi driver.
I want you.
I'm a practicing Sikh. Sorry, I need to wait to manage and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That
You
was
could have said that for Catholic.
yeah, I mean, it was just, but that, no, genuinely, some of the stuff that people over there were like, some of the lasses they spoke to was fucking unreal.
Oh, you mean the schmicks?
Aye,
Aye.
30 quid a head. A head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'd.
Rich, like ridiculous, but you know, she looked like she took a lot though.
What did you think of the Belfast accent?
No, I've always loved it.
What the actual like? You right, mate?
Aye.
You right?
That's just our accent that you did there.
No, it's not. You don't sound like that. It's like really nasal.
Aye.
Yeah, come here, mate. I fucking rat you.
Aye. It was fucking great.
And it's not like a 16-year-old. It's like a 32-year-old man holding a bottle of Buckfast, fucking swinging out the door of Tesco. Like, do you know what I mean?
We went to this club and one of the guys that were away was like, he downed a whole bottle of Smirnoff.
Nah.
He was fucked, like his eyes were like not even, they were at the back of his head. He was fucked. Strolls up to this club, all he used to come in, know him, but in the proper like nasal accent like he says, and then all others went, what? Say that again, and then he said it again, and it was like, alright, besides him, I was like, what, he's from Scotland, how do you not understand me? Hi, you're speaking through your nose, mate.
Yeah. No, like you get that. That's the proper like East Belfast accent. It's absolutely dreadful. I can't stand it.
It was alright, I quite enjoyed it, it was funny.
It's good for a laugh, but see when you live around it, like
All the time.
I worked on the city market, and see when you're trying to sell someone something, you're trying to convince them. They're going,
What's it made out of?
and I'm like, "Mate, just fucking shut up and bed. I don't want to hear this."
I know, the accent was funny as fuck. It was funny.
Maybe I need to make a trip to Ireland by the sounds of it.
Nah, there's no strip clubs and no casinos, it's fucking shit.
Well, these black market websites, by the sounds of it, had them covered for
But
you.
they did have them covered, aye. We were winding James up the whole time, like, wow, we've booked a stripper, and he was so against the idea.
Is this why he specifically chose a place? Was he like going through
Aye,
like travel websites,
aye,
like,
he probably
where's
did.
this band so they can't
Aye.
get it?
He's like, "We're gonna go into like
Dubai
fucking
or
tour."
Ireland?
I was like, James, we could have just went to Glasgow, got a few strippers, sat in Ewan's place, and went home. You know what I mean? But it was a good laugh anyway. Belfast was
It's
actually
probably cheaper to fly over there in 30 quid rather than get a taxi out there to Glasgow and back.
I know, you just get the train back, wouldn't you?
Fair enough. I suppose you're a cheap bastard.
Aye.
Oh, fucking
I'll tell you something, Belfast was more expensive than fucking Glasgow for drinks.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
So-
What's the average price for a pint out in Belfast?
Pint. I mean, I usually just go to Spoons because you get the same price everywhere, right?
Oh, that's what I asked.
$2.80 for a wee pint. Aye, good fucking dodgy.
What's the... See, trying to remember the club name. It was a proper posh club, middle of the town. It started with a C.
It's not Backs.
Cape.
Not Backs, is it?
No, Cape.
I'm trying to think.
I can't remember what it's called, but it was...
See, because they've got event nights on. It might have been an event night or something to rename it. You see.
I don't know, but it had
They
like...
renamed their clubs for event nights.
Aye. So it's
That seems like an expensive waste of money.
Well,
it's not like they actually like tear down. The
I'm not
banner
saying
or
they
anything.
do. I'm still saying though. Like, that seems like a
you'd
waste
be like,
of
you'd be
money.
going
though.
Carnival. You think of Carnival?
no, it's like Clisco or something like that. No, Clisio, I'm not thinking that.
Felicio, like Game of Thrones, eh?
But,
No, I
um,
don't know.
it was like downstairs and you go through and it's like there's curtains that pull down
Mm.
back and it's got an upstairs as well.
Too fancy for me, man. I
It's
wouldn't have been.
it's way too fancy.
I go to Sling
we,
Shake.
we walked in, it was like fucking £8 for a double vodka Coke. It was
That's like
fucking
Lavery's. Do you go to Lavery's when you were
yeah,
there?
mate, that's the very one.
Are you
Lavery's.
thinking of Lavery's?
Aye, gotta be a
Yeah.
sea
It does sound pretty.
Because when you
posh.
said
Lavery's.
£8 for a double vodka and Coke, I paid that one night and I was
Fucking
fuming.
Lavery's, mate, and it was like the downstairs and it's got an upstairs as well. Oh, mate.
I was just in the upstairs the time I went.
What's the club across the road though?
Fuck, I wouldn't know. I haven't been.
Lavery's, that's the one we went to, mate.
Aye.
We were in a hotel away down the road for it, but honestly, Lavery's was...
Probably in Europa then, because Europa's just down the road.
I
a
think it
bit.
was, aye, but we walked out to Lavery's, $8.60. Fucking what?
Because the only reason I was there that time was actually my best mate's brother's 21st. And
Aye.
he said, come with me because my whole family's going. I don't really get on with family, so
all
you
the
come
birds,
with
all
me.
the birds upstairs stuck up cunts, like, just proper... tits pushed out, just strutting about, it's like...
When you, if you could afford the £8.50 a Coke.
They don't pay for it, mate. They
Mm.
paying suckies as they call it.
Well, I mean, if there's no strippers around, what are you expecting for the
Oh,
folks
that's
to
really
get?
true, aye. But Lavery's, that is definitely that was
Please remind me again so I never have to go when I go over there. I never
Sorry,
need to
I
go
mean,
there.
if you're coming, you'll probably be hooking up with me anyway to fucking go out.
And then he'll be taking me to Spoons, I'll be our lavish
Oh,
We're
night.
not going to Lavery's, mate, because that shit is expensive.
Nah, I think there's good few student pubs and that around there because Queen's University is just up the road from Lavery's, big university built in the 1800s. But there's good few wee student pubs around there. Should have went into.
I didn't know at the time.
Ah, well, that's true. Well, you'll know for going back.
But
but
aye,
For someone else's marriage and
aye,
ye.
very true.
So, what does a boy from Ireland doing over in Scotland is the real question. Why is it you chose to come over to Stirling?
Well, I mean, it's more to do with my course. I'm studying applied computing at the moment. University of Stirling offers a really good course in it. So I'm in like an integrated degree course. I'm down at Forth Valley College for the first 2 years. So next year I'll be up at Stirling University proper. But I was looking around, like job satisfaction, people who come out with degrees, employability, stuff like that. You know, University of Stirling was quite high up. On top of that, I wanted to either go to Scandinavia or I wanted to go to Scotland because I wanted to get away with like from home to live on my own.
Okay.
And
Were you still living with your gran at this point?
no, I moved to Belfast in 07. Obviously, UCAS had made that kind of stuff when I was 18. Like so, I was like 7 years old, going like I'm going to Scotland. But no,
I was being lad, I don't know if you meant you moved with your gran to Belfast. Sorry.
no.
Okay.
My gran stayed in Donegal.
Okay.
She lives in Port Stewart in the north coast now. You know where Game of Thrones is filmed?
I
Castle
don't watch
Wars.
it, mate. So
You what?
I'm sorry, I don't spend my time watching
Just
it.
insulted me. That's fine.
I don't want to hear, I'm not going to lie.
Oh wow.
Wow,
I'm in
wow,
hostile
we're the
territory.
first ever two people I think never to watch an
It's a
episode.
lot of shit.
It does look like a lot of shit, you can't deny it.
You know it's a
You
lot.
can't
no,
say
no.
until you give it a go.
Right, okay, fine it. I'm sure I'll find something you don't want to watch, but I'll make it go, you have to give it a shot. No, but the thing is though, right, so see when it first ever came out, see when, like before it's as popular as now, I'm talking about when it was just like a run-the-mill TV show that no one had ever heard of. My mate was big into it. And he was like going on about it the full day, and me and my mate would say to him, you know, why should we watch this? What's it got in it that would make me want to watch it? And they gave me this exact quote, Liam, why wouldn't you want to watch it? It's got incest and dragons in it. And I'm like, No.
Right, I'll give him this. The second point, good one, but the first one, that's not something you bring up as a pro. That's
Yeah,
just
like out of everything he could have
you could have just
suggested.
said tits. There's loads of tits. That's a good thing.
But all I'm saying is though, right, although this was when the first season was just his main plus point for a show was incest.
Maybe he's into that. Maybe that's, I don't know who this is you're talking about, but maybe that's his
I probably won't say his name on this.
It's
in case he
probably
gets annoyed.
advisable. You'll probably know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, but you know, I'm also bagging on that he might not listen to this.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if your axe murdered, won't we?
Yeah, well, fair enough. I mean, it's up to him if he's into incest. He can do what he wants.
Incest is best, that's what they always say, isn't it?
Incest is wincest, I believe is the quote.
No, that's another one. That's a
I mean, I'm not sure what you're into, but I'm an only child, so.
So what you built like a sibling?
No, I'm
You
saying
made
I'm
one
not
out of
into
clay.
this.
You made one out of clay.
Made one out of clay.
Oh no.
You know, there's a thing called a sex doll if you're really that thirsty, Kelan.
You'd know more about that than me. Tell me about it. Then.
Oh, shut down. Go on then, go back to it then. Why, so, like, you decide you want to get away?
Yeah, I decided I want to get away, just kind of get my independence, learn to live on my own, stuff like that.
Okay, be a big boy.
Yeah, exactly, and you know, I'm loving it so far. It's went well.
Okay, so came over, you flew over. How was it like the first ever day? What did, like, is there anything you thought straight from the off, fuck, I can't handle it, or this is far too different from home sort of thing, even though it's
Not
only just
really.
across the sea?
I never even really particularly got homesick as such. I mean, I actually kind of find going home a bit of a chore because it's like I go home to like see people, and 2 days later I'm like, can I just go back now because I'm fed up. But yeah, I mean, I turned up and you know I met all my flatmates and that. It's actually kind of funny because they were all expecting me, and I turned up a week late because I didn't realise my course started so early. So I turned up to accommodation a week after my contract started, and all my flatmates were like leaning out the window going like, oh, who the fuck, he's arriving, oh my god. And I went in and got my keys from the office, got straight back in the rental car and drove off, and they were like, where the fuck's he going? I'd like went to go get a mini fridge for my room, but I hadn't told them. So they're all like hanging out the window going, eh, and then I fucking just disappeared.
So you looked up through the window and thought, nah.
I know, I just scammed the shit out of them was the plan, you know.
So, what was life in 1A like?
Do I have to talk about 1A? Okay.
You said nothing was left.
You know what? It's open doors, boys. 1A was cancer. It was
1A was
AIDS.
cancer.
It was AIDS. I'm glad I'm no longer in 1A. I mean, the people who are there, I'm still friendly with. I still think they're a decent bunch. But I think it's the same. It's the same if you live with anyone you couldn't proper get on with. They're gonna get under your skin for a variety of reasons. I mean, you were there for some of the instances, some of the
I
arguments.
was there for quite a lot.
Yeah.
This is the problem with a flat that argues a lot that you're good friends with.
It's
It's
one
fine,
of
it
those,
gave me my entertainment because I got to come downstairs, I got to see his argue, I got to have a laugh, and then I got to go up to my flat and go to my bed. It was brilliant. Didn't have to deal with the consequences.
I'm as a person, I'm someone who doesn't suffer fools gladly. You know, I won't bullshit someone. I won't, you know, blow smoke up their ass. I mean, I'll speak quite
To
frankly.
be fair, I think the majority of people that you lived with didn't exactly follow that trope.
Yeah, I mean, it was more that a lot of people were ideologically different from me, shall I say, in so much that accepting the truth could be difficult sometimes.
I see yourself holding back a wee bit.
I'm choosing my words very carefully.
Alright,
But yes, that would be probably my
so go on then, I'll really throw you under the bus here. I want you, in as few words as possible, to describe each person that you lived with. And we're going to start with the hardest one, Anya. I can say it's kind
of hard to describe what I think of Anya because she left quite soon into me knowing her.
If you can hear the joy in his voice.
She was an SJW. Don't like those kind of people. You know, political correctness isn't really my thing. As you might have noticed, I swear quite a fucking bit. But you know.
No ad monetization for this video.
No ad monetization. Yeah, you're getting thrown off YouTube now. Sorry, man.
That's fine. We
But,
don't exactly hold back a lot of time either.
I mean, it was just, as I say, when I said people who differed with me intellectually, ideologically, you know, there was issues there. She was perhaps one of the staunchest opponents of that. She was one of the biggest proponents of that kind of issue.
Okay, then the next person to leave, Lauren.
Lauren, I mean, I mean, we got on. I mean, that was really kind of it. There wasn't much more to it.
No, well, okay, we'll go easy on you now. Ben.
Ben is my baby. He's my BBY. I live with him at the moment. He's my flatmate. He's probably like the one person we kept each other seeing living in that flat, to be fair.
I don't think Ben actually lived in that flat, to be fair.
Well, when he was there, like, yeah.
Once a week, yeah, you know.
Yeah, well, 3 days a week for college and then back home to Glasgow.
He didn't even stay in your flat. He went up to my flat. He
Well,
stayed more time in my flat than I did. I spent more time in your flat than he did.
That was up until December, and then after December we started hanging out way more. But
fair enough.
Shannon, I think, dead on. I think she's quite stubborn at times, maybe, but so am I. So, you know, come see, come saw. Probably led to quite a few of her, you know, tiffs. But yeah, she's dead on. I really don't have an issue.
Tasha.
When I say people who have a hard time accepting the truth, I think probably if there was an index globally of people who just, you know, cognitive dissonance, no matter how much evidence you could push at someone that was 100% certified, 100% fact, and yet they would turn around and go, nah, that Tasha would probably be number one. I mean, I think she means well, but it's in her nature, I think.
Fair enough. Go on then, though. Let's say more positive. What was some of the best things about
after I've just
Monday?
roasted all my ex-flatmates?
Well, you didn't. No, I thought you were nicer than what I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie. Go on then. Go on. There must have been something good about living there. Your own independence for the first time, staying in a flat with loads of students as well. What was the best thing about it?
I mean, the Wi-Fi was pretty good.
Alright then.
I mean, I got 14 megabytes down, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right. I'm glad to see that you found that the best.
Like, you can download a AAA game in 15 minutes. That's something to talk about.
You got what? You got 40 megabytes down?
Aye.
Yeah.
Off the uni Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Same for me, mate.
14 megabytes.
Do you know, actually, look, my phone's not on me at the moment. I'll show you after the podcast. But generally, I've got a screenshot and Snapchat.
Why? What are you so confused about?
Only 14.
Like 14 down, yeah. No, not online. Like on the actual Wi-Fi. Like in
We'll
client.
discuss this later. But
Okay, sure.
Are you about to fucking give us a 4G box or whatever?
no, carry on. By the way,
I swear to God, if
by-
an fucking promotion comes out of this
by the way, it was,
podcast.
the iBuzz I stayed at.
Uh,
Aye.
This podcast is sponsored by EE.
No, trust me, he does it enough. I want fucking payment for them now. I basically do their job for them.
It's
I'm
just as well you don't have the
promoting
webcam. He's still in the uniform and all. He'd be plugging.
Oh, honest to Christ, right? He wears that. I don't think he's worn a different t-shirt that every single time he's been here to
I come
record.
straight from work. What do you expect?
No, that's fair enough. You wear it every time you come straight from work. However, I think whenever I see you, other than the podcast as well, you wear nothing but that polo as well.
He's a hard-working boy.
Exactly.
I'm not saying he isn't. He's always been a hard worker.
Fucking use your dobbies.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the fucking wash because it gets dirty every time I use it. Anyway, then, well, I suppose that's a good segment then. Jobs, what's previous job experience? have you had?
I mean, my first ever job was when I was 17. I worked in a city market down Belfast City Centre, St George's Market. It's quite an old
Proper
building.
Cockney geezer that you were?
Yeah, apart from the fact I sold Himalayan craft goods.
Moving on.
moving on.
Well, it was like
Why?
right. Okay, this is a complicated but interesting story. So, my mum has a friend whose brother used to go out to Nepal on these kind of like fundraising things for local orphanages. So he then got this kind of partnership with women who lived in this village that they would make these goods and he would sell them, you know, abroad and send money back to support them. Yes, the kind of coalition.
Okay. Well, that's quite good, yeah.
He then met his wife from that village, married her, so his wife is from the same village. And I was looking a job, and Mum went, "Oh, I'll ask Ian." And Ian was like, "Well, I'm going away to Nepal for 2 months, why don't you run a stall on your own?" And I'd never had a job before this, so I ran a
That's
market
quite
stall on my own.
did you know this guy quite well then? Or?
I mean, he'd been around pretty much like all my life because he was a family friend.
So like you knew enough to trust you to run a stall.
Yeah.
Alright, so what was life as a market stall?
Oh, it was absolute dreadful. I mean, I was doing my advanced hires at the time, so, you know, A2s, which are obviously big exams, right? But my weekends were spent working down the market, so I'd probably hang out with my girlfriend on the Friday evening, you know, come back to my house about 10, go to bed, wake up maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m, get ready, up, showered, into town for 6, start setting up, be set up by 9 a.m, work from 9 a.m through to 4 p.m, pack up, and I would do that on the Sunday as well, except on the Sunday it was a full pack, so I had to put everything away into the containers, which would then take to like 6:30.
So, like, how much were you roughly earning from that then?
Well, I mean, I was getting £5 flat an hour, so it was something like, 45 quid on one day, like 35 or something on the other. I don't know, it worked out
To be
about
fair, you make
100
about
quid.
roughly how much I make.
Yeah, it was about
nowadays,
100 quid a week, and I had no kind of expenses
Income,
as such.
yeah.
It was all fun money, so.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
No, you could blow it at strippers or casinos because there's fucking zero.
Well, I mean, you were
exactly.
17 as well at that point, or
Well,
16.
I was about to turn, because I got that job in October, and my birthday's in February.
Yeah, right,
So
okay.
I still had the job by the time I turned 18, and then it funded a lot
Doesn't
of
matter what
drink.
age you are in Belfast.
What?
Doesn't matter what age you are in Belfast.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it wouldn't have mattered even if they did have it.
Well, I could always grow a beard as well, so I just walked into off licenses and didn't ever check for ID. So.
Wow, aren't you lucky?
And then
I had to slick back my hair and grow out my facial hair to get away with that shit.
oh, life's hard, isn't it?
It's when you're 17 and try to get a drink, trust me. So, any other than job experience? I'm just basically being your agent.
Are
in
you
California,
trying to get me a job? I'd really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you can be full-time editor of this podcast. I'll pay you £1 a week to edit it.
£1 a week.
Yeah,
That's pretty abysmal.
I mean, but it's
I mean,
coming
if
from
you're-
me,
if
and
you're
you love
talking-
me, so you'll do it.
If you're talking cheap labour, just go to the Middle East or something. I'll do it for a penny and peanuts.
I'm not sure they've ever seen a Mac though. I'm not sure if
You'd
they're
be
quite-
surprised. You'd be surprised. But no, in terms of other work, this summer I was working down the civil service, the Department of Agriculture. So I was doing
in Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, in Ireland, I was doing administrative work. So it was like scanning, filing, all that kind of stuff. But it was kind of interesting.
He's a narc. He works for the government.
No, it was really interesting because the oldest document, because obviously I was processing these land deeds and title registries and stuff, I guess, to do with owning land, right? 'Cause
Is that
it's
quite complex when you're doing it?
Well, no, it's just scanning and stuff
Oh,
like that
right.
and separating it out. Like it's not. I wasn't doing anything that
So,
complex.
like, I don't know, a wee bit like a what's called receptionist. Almost.
Yeah, admin assistant, so administrative work. Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because of Alba talking about hers.
But so the one interesting thing I actually got over the summer was because I was handling all these titles and deeds.
Uh-huh.
They went all the way back to Dublin Castle, which is before the partition of Ireland.
Right.
And the oldest one I actually came across in my time working there was from 1878.
Hope you didn't break that.
No, I didn't break it.
Why? Like, did you just come across it, or were you having to like give it for like a specific use? or-
Well, I was in the historical documents section at that point, so obviously all the files we were processing in that line were all hundreds of years old. I mean, actually, I say that.
I'd be
was-
fucking terrified talking there, just like in case you
That's
broke
not,
something.
it's like, well, it is funny because they send them in, and some of them are obviously like family heirlooms because they're
Uh-huh.
obviously the deed and registry of their land, so they've taken really good care of them. I mean, there was one, actually, I tell a lie, there was one from the 1700s, and it was like pristine. There was ones from the 80s that looked shitter than this, But anyway, they send it in, it's pristine condition, all this, probably the pride of their family. We take out the scissors, cut it up, and scan it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, right in the heart.
Those poor bastards.
Yeah, I mean, but it's our copy to keep anyway, so, tough titties.
That's them mental.
Shouldn't send it, you don't want to lose it. And that's me speaking on behalf of the government, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'm sure Ireland's thrilled to have you as their son.
Oh, yeah, they are, definitely.
Okay, so I think we're going to move on to a few games now, if you don't mind. First one's kind of like what I was saying to you before about describing your old flatmates, except I'm going to give you a couple of like topics and you're just going to say like the first thing that comes into your head about it. Okay. So for example, I could say Scotland and Jamie would say
best country on the planet.
Okay.
Yep. So, Scotland.
Second home.
Northern Ireland.
Field political state.
Republic of Ireland.
The best.
Vapes.
Got me off cigarettes.
College.
Kill me.
School.
Don't like it.
Drugs.
Love them.
Alcohol.
Not so much anymore.
Computers.
I'm a techie boy.
Pool.
Pool god.
CSGO.
Semi-professional.
And finally, of course, the most important one, Liam Bear being better at pool than you.
That is pure conjecture, and I'd like to see some evidence to support it.
him failing and not being able to beat me in his last 3 games. I'm going
Yeah.
to insert the ooh sound effect and talk that.
Yeah.
No, I won't.
I'll just do it for you.
I never want to hear that voice from you ever again.
It's not a voice, it's a primal urge.
Primal urge. Right, the next thing we're going to do is basically, it's a segment called Liam and Jabba, brackets and guests, do the news. Where basically, I've gone on BBC News, I found 2 news stories, we're just going to talk about them, get opinions on them.
Okay.
It's nothing like too big that you'd have to like.
I don't
think
have to have
about
any
it.
former knowledge.
No.
That's good because I'm not up to date.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm not either until I go on BBC News like 2 hours before this to get
It's got 2
something.
hours of preparation. I'm sitting here going, what the fuck are you going to say?
Right, Storm Brine, which can I say is the best name ever for a storm. It really makes it sound terrifying, doesn't it?
Just makes you think of like an old man's face floating through the sky, slightly balding with, you know, a whiskey.
Really? I think of like a chilled taxi driver almost, Brian.
like a hippie taxi driver.
I didn't say happy, I just said chilled. Anyway, basically there's a pipeline off the coast of Blackpool, which I'll get into a wee bit later. And basically Storm Brian, terrifying as it is, managed to bend the 250 metre length of pipe at a 90-degree angle to the point where it all burst, giving Blackpool basically no like electricity for about 3 days.
Damn.
Now, well, 2 things. One, why is it? Because see when I was thinking about it, right, off coast, I was thinking, but how can I do that if it's like underground or like in the water or whatever? No, this is literally just a 250 metre like length of pipe that's on top of the water.
Yeah.
There's clearly a reason behind it. Isn't there a reason they can't just submerge it and like stop that from happening?
Well, I imagine it was submerged, no?
Oh, how can... No, it's literally the wind... No, like, it lies, like, on top of the waves and, like, the fucking wind bent it around at night.
Why do they have it floating? I imagine they would have had it under the water, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
That's
like...
really dumb.
But, I mean, there must be a reason for it. Probably money.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
Blackpool City Council, if you're looking to lead architect, I've got some pretty interesting ideas about how I could fix your shitty system.
Fair enough. And it's going to cost £200 million to fix.
It's alright, the Tories are taxing us into oblivion. I'm sure they'll dig that out of somewhere. Probably disabled people's pensions or funds or some shit.
I mean, this is the most political podcast we've ever had. And we had one where we talked about a judge that was dodgy, so...
Well, I'm glad to hold that title.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, surely as well, I know, like, I'm saying, like, like really big storms in the UK are quite rare. It's not like often we get something that's truly terrible, but wouldn't they be prepared for something like this coming? Like, wouldn't they think to, like, put in a fail-safe and check for the wind?
How many times do you get the news report, red alert, like, wind? High speed winds.
Yeah,
and
but
never actually happens.
Well, no, it does happen, but like to us, a high speed wind is going to be nothing compared to something like the US or whatever, something like that, where they get much worse.
Very true, but
well, yeah, you say that it's like a twig hits your car and the alarm goes off in the middle of the night. You're like, fucking Brian. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas these people in America are losing their homes, they're losing their lives as such.
Well, I mean,
it happened to Ireland as well, though, didn't it?
Well, that one, what was it? Orphelia hit Ireland actually. Was it a week ago? There was 3 people killed in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a boy who was cutting down a tree with a chainsaw. Chainsawed himself.
That's partly his fault.
I'm not going to like. I mean, don't speak ill of the dead, but what the fuck was he doing cutting down a tree in a
Probably pissed off his face. Everyone got the day off. It was a national holiday because it was like all the schools were put off and then everyone else gave off and it was a bank holiday. So
I fucking want Storm Brian to hit here.
No.
Aye, especially at a weekend. Get me off work. Hit me up, Storm Brian.
I'm gonna send this VOD into like Dobby's.
Oh no! If you think this is bad, you should have heard some of the stuff I've said.
You're clearly not ready to listen.
No, well, he says it often to a few.
I watch it every so often.
Glad to say we've got a fan in.
Yeah.
The second story, which is probably the best one that I've ever, apart from the very first time we did this, because the very first time I did this, I came off the best headline ever. But this one is a man in South Africa has strapped himself to a chair, filled it with 100 helium balloons and suspended himself on it, travelling 15.5 miles at 8,000 feet up. It took him 2.5 days to fill the balloons to do the travelling. What it didn't say in the news report though was how he got down. That's what I wanted to know.
Or is he still up?
There's
He
actually
died.
it's actually rather interesting. Have you ever heard of the Darwin Award? The Darwin Award?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was actually a case like this in America. A guy
Really?
got drunk, got all these helium balloons, attached it to his beer chair, his camp chair, and fucking floated up to the point at which he actually froze to death because he was in a t-shirt and it started getting stormy, and he won the Darwin Award one of the years. So it's actually a remarkably similar story in that regard.
I mean, that's fine. No, but like, as well, it seems like he's really prepared for this because it talked about that he was going to do it in Botswana, but he moved to South Africa because the wind conditions were better.
Because he's sitting there with a barometer like, this will do. We'll do it here.
I just love that, like, because he's clearly such an intelligent man as well. If he's able to like go through this, figure out the correct amount of balloons and all that, able to get himself down like safely and all that. But he's still at the same time so fucking nuts. He wants to strap himself to a chair, and I saw the picture of it. It was literally just like a dining room table chair like this. No seatbelts or anything on, like no handles.
Seatbelts. Once you got a scooteroni through the atmosphere.
No, but like, you know, there was no safety precautions. It was literally just him sitting on a chair with no like, you know, like protection. He was 8,000 feet up.
Aye. I mean, it's a wee bit on the side. Like, what you doing?
I was gonna say, you're going like, you know, oh, he's super intelligent. I mean, they cite like, you know, he was testing the conditions. For all I know, he just dandered out his back door and went, that'll do.
Nah, to be fair, I saw the guy. I think he was wearing a lab coat in the picture.
He was wearing a lab coat.
I think he was an intelligent
Amazon
boy.
Prime, was it? Yeah.
Aye, this is their drone system that they do now. They
He's been watching a lot of Rick and Morty. He's feeling confident.
I just love the fact that folk are willing to do such fucking batshit crazy thing. Like, to the point of, like, you know, he travelled 15.5 miles. How long would, like, because I looked everywhere for it, it didn't give me a time of how long he was up there.
Yeah.
How fucking long do you think?
Depends on the speed he was travelling at.
Oh, well, but if he was getting pushed at 70 miles an hour, hold on, just like grabbing
But
hold
I'm
the
going to say,
chair.
you're 15 miles, so that's for what, here to Falkirk,
Roughly.
right? We're going at 70 mile an hour, takes 20 minutes, roughly. If he is going, so let's say 10 mile an hour, wind,
Okay, yeah,
Give
fair
or
enough.
take.
Right, okay, yeah.
give or take, he's taking at least 6, 7, maybe even 8 years. Like, wow,
That's commitment.
that is commitment.
I
Like you said, I want to know how he got down, or is he down? Like,
Nah, it didn't say they died, so I'm presuming he got down. No, but I find that kind of cool that folk are just willing to do this batshit crazy things for absolutely no reason.
he must be intelligent now. He must have taken into like.
Oh yeah, because he would be fucking dead if he wasn't to plan this out.
What if birds bust the balloons? These sort of things. He's going to be taking one
Well,
of
like a bird strike, the ones that burned down the Boeing 747.
See, you think he must have took all this into like consideration. You think he's got maybe a backup parachute behind the seat. These things, you know.
He gets up to the high enough altitude, just jumps off and fucking
Aye.
parachutes
No,
down.
he's just got a chopper on call. He just radios in. They just come in, picks him up. You know.
I would have thought as well it would have taken a lot more than 100 balloons as well. I know they're helium ones, but I still would have thought it would have
Depends on
taken...
his mass and that as well. I suppose he's
Yeah, true.
quite a thin man.
intelligent fellow. Must have worked out.
He can do maths, he must be
He had a
smart.
calculator though. Casual.
Right, Kelan, there's a final game that we're going to play, and
Okay.
it's called Quickfire Questions. I almost said the actual name of the app there. It's not called that, it's Quickfire Questions.
Are we going on a dating app or something? What's going on?
Well, Jamie, do you want to explain? Pulse, I get a load up.
Oh, I mean, this app, not a day.
Yeah, that's that. Don't explain
What
how
is a
Tinder
dating
works,
app,
he's
Jamie?
well acquainted with that.
Lies. I'm a good Christian boy.
Yeah, right.
Basically, you choose a letter. Well, sorry, the alphabet comes up. It chooses a letter for you. Gives you the letter.
Mm-hmm.
You can re-roll and get another letter, right? And with this letter, it then gives you topics that you've got to then say. You've got to say something in that topic, starting with a letter. So if it's sports, football, for example.
Yeah,
If you get the letter F, yeah.
Yeah.
If you get 5 wrong, it's an automatic D and F.
Which we've never had one. Well, no, we have had
We've had a
DNF.
few. We've never had a second
God.
DNF because if you get one DNF, we'll let you go again. If you get wrong, it adds 5 seconds to your time.
Okay.
Don't get them wrong. But,
Okay, no pressure. Yeah, cool.
We'll just disown you.
Can I have a really quick vape?
Yeah, go
Just
ahead.
get some nicotine in my system.
And what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much, well, to begin with, Liam's going to get a letter, give you the letter, and you can re-roll it. Think
Okay.
think logically though.
Yeah, if it's something easy, it's like A, right?
Or if it's
Well, no,
said, don't
actually-
take it.
Zed don't take it.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor done it with an unusual letter, and he had the best time,
Yeah.
but the best score until his girlfriend better.
Oh damn.
So
38 seconds.
yeah,
But
but
look to live up to.
but we have, how should we say, varying times on the board. So we've got Albert top
Is
at
it
38
Duncan at the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So we've got Albert at 38.8 seconds with 9 correct. Connor at second with 41.49 correct. Then Jamie on third.
Still in Vaughn's place, mate.
If you get anywhere in the top 3, I'll be happy just to fucking take him off his high horse.
If you automatically do not get in the top 3,
Yeah.
there's a wee pound in it for you then. That's
Oh, is there a wee point?
Yeah, well,
I can buy some Watsits, guys.
Think of the amount of times I've bought you alcohol, so you know whose side you need to be on favour of.
But it's easier to throw a game than to win it. I have to try to win.
Exactly.
Why not just hedge the bets, just throw the game and let's go.
Nah. Well, do you want to be a loser like
No,
Duncan then?
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go.
Like I said, varying time, so we've got Duncan at the bottom on 2 minutes 8 seconds with 7 correct. If you do, however, get 5 wrong the second time, there's no there's no third chance. It's DNF first
Sweet.
time, and you're forever portrayed as the worst human ever to exist.
Really?
Yeah.
But I thought I'd already done that. Don't tell me
We'd have to do it again.
Oh.
Right, I'll read them out to you, but I'll let you be able to see it.
Do I
as
get
well
the letter?
sometime. Yeah, I'm just going to do it now.
Okay.
Right, Kelan, the letter it's given you is T. Do you want to reroll or stick?
Reroll.
I think reroll's probably
I
a
think
six.
T's a
I
bit
can say that shit.
shite.
Oh. P.
Right, well, I guess I've no choice then. Let's
Yeah,
go
if
with
you
P.
don't. Well, if you do get 5 wrong, you get a second attempt, but don't fucking shite bag out of it if you think you're going to get it.
Okay,
you
I'll
can, you can
try.
easily do this.
I'll try.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1. Things to do at work.
Procrastinate.
Yep. Holiday locations.
Poland.
Yep. Things you throw away.
A polo tube wrapper.
Yep. Things you sit on.
Uh,
You can pass it as well if you need to.
pass.
Things that excite you.
Penis.
Yep. Diseases.
Polio.
Yep. Parts of your body.
Pancreas.
Yep. Cosmetics or toiletries.
Pass.
Things found in your pocket.
Phone.
Yep. Next one. Reasons to make a phone call.
Parents.
Yep. Oh no! Damn it! 1 second
No.
away! No!
Dude, that's so
Right,
funny.
Kelan, Jamie, since you're closer, can you write it up?
You know what? I'm fairly happy with that. I'm in the top percentile.
I will fucking write that with pleasure.
So
Just
still
bear
at the
bottom
point,
for now.
still through
With
it.
8 correct and a time of 1 minute and 5 seconds.
All I'm going to say is, right, this happened last week as well, right?
Yeah.
Or the week before. Things you sit on has came up twice, and the letter P has been there. Not once has anybody said penis. I'm relatively disappointed. I'm relatively disappointed.
Well, it said things you enjoy. I think I compromised my sexuality enough as it is.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just make that sound clip from this, you know.
What?
Send it to any future girlfriends.
Oh,
Alright, well, Kelan, thanks for being on.
thank you for having me.
And now we'll get on to the Prem fixtures. Jamie, first game, Man United v Spurs.
Man United.
Going with draw. Arsenal v Arsenal v Swansea.
I'll go with Arsenal there.
Same. Crystal Palace v West Ham. Two of the shittest teams right
I
now.
know. I'm going to go with Palace.
I'm going to go for draw. Liverpool v Huddersfield.
I really don't want it, but I'm going to go Liverpool.
I'm going for Huddersfield.
Really?
Aye, truthfully.
That's a so.
No, do you know what though? It could easily come back to bite me because it might be copped after the Man U thing.
Aye.
But I think like put it this way, right, I'm bet against Liverpool once this entire time, so you know I'm gonna take it now. Where are we on? Watford v Stoke.
Watford.
Yeah, Watford been playing good. West Brom v Man City.
City.
City. Bournemouth v Chelsea.
I'm with Chelsea.
Chelsea. Brighton v Southampton.
I'm going to go with draw.
Going to go Southampton. Leicester v Everton.
Everton.
Leicester. Ooh.
I went with Everton. Now, what I will say
I'm
is,
going with Everton too.
are you going to change it? Are you going with Everton?
No,
Was
I'm
that your
going
original?
Everton. Yeah. fine.
Reason being is the whole Leicester sacking their manager.
Yeah,
Actually, that.
I mean,
logic
it does.
works.
It works for like 99% of teams,
Aye.
to be honest.
So I'm going to go with Everton on that. I'm going to
Yeah.
say they're going to make a
Plus, let's be honest, with the actual squad they've got, they're not as shit as.
Well, no, they
table
are shit
suggests.
this season, but yeah.
I mean, like they're like the actual players they got, they shouldn't be there.
I mean, they played well against fucking what's their name last week. Oh my god,
Arsenal?
Arsenal. They actually
got
played.
dicked 5-2, didn't they?
Yeah, but they actually played well. But then eventually, like Arsenal's play just
Destroyed them,
Aye.
right? And the final one, Burnley v Newcastle.
Going with Newcastle.
Same. I'm going to ask you a question which I realised after going through the podcast I haven't asked since about week 5. And it is, how would you like to be remembered?
I would rather people asked why there wasn't a monument in my name than why there was.
Very humble of you, mate. Thank you.
That's Socrates, by the way. Don't copyright strike him.
I mean, we're talking about the football or
I know. Socrates, the Greek philosopher.
I mean, more important one in my head is the
Look,
Dr.
Socrates
Seuss
going to come
football.
back from the dead and copyright strike you, so I'd watch that. Some creative editing, maybe jumble the words up. You know.
Right. Okay.
You know what you're at.
Yeah. True. Anyway, thanks for coming on, mate. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Next week it's just me and Jamie again, so until then, we'll see you next week. Goodbye. I've been Liam Whyte.
I've been Jamie Allan.
And I've been Kelan Boylan.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.